When you're in a relationship with a narcissist, one thing is for certain, and that is that your mental health is under attack. Their manipulative tactics like gaslighting, isolation, emotional roller coasters really take a toll on your body. They can leave you kind of doubting yourself, questioning your own reality, and feeling trapped in a cycle of chaos. I've been there, I've lived it. If you've been around my channel for any length of time, you know that I was in a relationship with a narcissist for about 11 years. And what I didn't realize at the time was just how deeply that relationship was destroying me from the inside out. Looking back at photos of that time period, I barely recognized myself. My skin was pale, you could tell my eyes were really lifeless, and I carried the weight of the world on my shoulders. Isn't it interesting how you can look at a photo and say, you know, that person doesn't look well, or that person doesn't look happy? You can really tell when somebody is emotionally bogged down, and I can see that in the photos of myself from that period of time. I can just tell things were not well. And my family and my friends could tell that something wasn't well with me. They probably couldn't put their finger on it because I was able to go out and do my job every day that I went to. But I frankly couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't know what was happening to me during that period of time when I was with the narcissist. I just knew that it was complete and utter chaos that I couldn't get away from, or at least I felt that I couldn't. I remember the exact moment in time when I knew that I had to reach out for help. I knew that I had to seek out therapy. And I'm going to tell you that story in just a bit, so stay tuned. For those of you who are ready to start therapy but really feel uncertain about how to begin, I want to share a resource with you today that can make that process a lot easier. Thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video and for creating a platform that makes therapy more convenient and affordable for so many people. BetterHelp is an online therapy platform that makes professional counseling accessible, affordable. Here's why I think BetterHelp stands out for someone who is seeking therapy. One is, it is convenient. You don't have to commute, you don't have to sit in waiting rooms or take time off to attend therapy. Everything is done online from the comfort of your own home or from wherever you choose to have your therapy session. Two, it's very flexible. With BetterHelp, you can schedule live video or phone sessions at times that work best for you. If you're in a crisis, you can also message your therapist anytime and they will respond as soon as possible. Three, it's affordable. Therapy can be expensive, but BetterHelp offers a flat fee for counseling. This means you can reach out as often as you need to without worrying about additional costs. And this can be extremely helpful for someone who is trying to get out of a narcissistic relationship. So there's the ending of the relationship and then getting out of the relationship, and knowing that there's going to be a lot of times during that period where you might need some counseling, some assistance on how to strategize, and having a low cost monthly fee for counseling can be extremely beneficial. Four, they have personalized matching. BetterHelp matches you with a licensed therapist who specializes in the areas that you need it, whether that is recovering from narcissistic abuse, depression, anxiety, or dealing with trauma. BetterHelp can match you with the right therapist. Five, they have easy switching. If you don't feel a connection with the therapist, you can easily switch to a different therapist at no extra cost. Your healing journey is too important to settle for less than the perfect fit. And if the second one doesn't work, you can switch again at no cost. You need to make sure that you can find the right therapist, not just in the skill set, but also personality-wise. You want to make sure that you click with your therapist. And lastly, for those who need discretion, no one has to know that you're in therapy unless you choose to share it. Now, let me get back to this story where I knew the exact moment in time that I needed to reach out for some professional counseling. I had been separated from the narcissist for about 3 weeks when I received a phone call. Now remember, as I said, I was barely functioning at this time. I would just collapse on the couch when I came home from work, and I'm laying there and I just cannot, I'm sort of hoping that the time goes by really slowly, because I know as it goes on, I know I have to go to bed and get up and do the whole thing again tomorrow and go to work and be an adult. And I just relish the time when I can just come home and just be in my feelings. I received a phone call from a girlfriend, and she wanted me to hear this from her, someone that loved me, right? She cares about me, and she didn't want me to be caught off guard when I wasn't prepared or when I wasn't ready for it. And she told me that the narcissist was already in a relationship with someone else. She had seen them out and about, and she had been hearing rumors, and she wanted me to know. I already knew that I was the only one that was grieving the ending of the relationship, because narcissists don't have empathy, and they don't feel what they do to other people in the same ways that we do. And so I was already grieving, and to hear from my good friend that my ex was already in a relationship with someone else, it just really destroyed me. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part is what she said next, which was that it was someone that I knew, who I used to go to church with. And it literally was like a punch to the gut. Hearing that he had replaced me so quickly after the ending of our relationship made me feel disposable, like I didn't matter. And I knew that I was drowning in emotions. And I knew in that moment that I couldn't keep going like this. If I was going to make it on the other side of the pain, I really needed to talk to someone. And that was the moment that I decided that I needed to go to therapy. Therapy saved my life. It became a lifeline for me, a safe space where I could literally let all those emotions, all those feelings come up and unpack them and process the trauma and begin to rebuild my life and my sense of self. It truly helped me to understand the patterns in my own life and in my relationships that had me stuck in choosing the same kind of men. And therapy gave me the tools to recognize those. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I realized in therapy was that I didn't have self-worth. And I didn't know that when I was in the relationship with the narcissist. But what I realized is the lack of self-worth is what allowed me to not address red flags. It allowed me to take abuse that I didn't deserve, but I didn't know I didn't deserve it. And looking back, the relationship is the thing that forced me into therapy. It was what that relationship did to me that really solidified in my head that I never want to choose that kind of person again. And I had to figure out what was going on inside of me that allowed me to select someone like that and keep that person in my life for so long, knowing that I was not treated well. And so therapy helped me to, really build my self-worth to a point where now I don't let any red flags go. And I learned to set boundaries. I didn't know how to set boundaries, let alone I didn't have the confidence to set them because I didn't think people would stick around. When I tell you I didn't have self-worth, I mean, I had zero. I had no self-esteem. In therapy, I was able to kind of trace back where that began and why it began like that. But I know now that I could not be where I am today without therapy. I am way better than I was when I went into that relationship with the narcissist. And it's because I processed my trauma. I dealt with the hard stuff, and I stayed single for a really long time so I could work on that. When they say when you get out of a relationship, you need to take some time for yourself and, really don't jump in too quickly with someone else because you need to really work on yourself. I literally took that to heart. I worked on myself in therapy, and I couldn't be where I am today without it. Healing from narcissistic abuse isn't just about surviving. It's literally about reclaiming your life. Therapy helps you to do that. It does help you to set boundaries, trust yourself again, and rebuild that sense of self-worth. I always tell my coaching clients that boundaries tell other people where you end and they can begin. My boundaries are not rigid, but they are very firm. I only change my boundaries or move my boundaries if they make sense to me. I don't get guilted into changing my boundaries. I have a really strong sense of self, and I have high self-worth now. And I exude that when I'm in my relationships. And boundaries actually repel narcissists. So therapy will help you to set boundaries so that you can repel any narcissists that come your way in the future. Each week that I attended therapy, session by session, nugget of truth by nugget of truth, I got a little stronger. If you've been thinking about therapy but not sure how to begin, I encourage you to try BetterHelp. You can go to BetterHelp.com/Naked Narcissism to sign up today. It's easy, it's private, and it could be the first step towards reclaiming your life. When you go on their website, they'll have you fill out a short questionnaire, and then they'll start matching you with the right therapist based on what you need. And then if it doesn't work, then you can switch to a new therapist, as I said earlier. Thank you again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this video and for making therapy accessible to so many people who need it. If this video resonated with you, like, share, and comment below, and subscribe to my channel. You're not alone in this journey, and you deserve to heal. Therapy can be your lifeline just like it was for me. And remember, you're stronger than you think, and a brighter future is waiting for you.